Is Creed 3 a masterpiece?
No.
The Creed movies have always been my most inspirational movies in the last 10 years. I've always resonated with Adonis, and in some ways more than Rocky. Adonis, to me, has always felt more grounded than Rock, especially after Rocky 2, where no disrespect to Rocky 3 and 4, but Rock feels like he's fighting supervillains. Rocky has always been a larger-than-life character. Adonis' story of coming from the dirt, of being in and out of juvie, and when he wasn't in juvie, he was in a group home getting the shit beaten out of him, as we learn in Creed 3, then practically being saved by his last name. Then we see him try to break out of the shadow of his last name, to him coming to accept it and embrace his family's legacy. Then in Creed 2, we watch Adonis and Drago fight to settle a beef that wasn't theirs to begin with. Ultimately, both come to that conclusion by the end of the movie. Then we have Creed 3. Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut, and it's easily the best directed movie out of the three. MBJ really did a fantastic job. It's not hard to tell that he loves and cares for these movies. He's able to breathe new life into the franchise, and is also able to reinvent how boxing is shot on camera. Every fight has a level of care and precision that we haven't ever seen before in the entire franchise. The performances by everyone are so good that you never feel like someone is underwhelming and not giving it their all. Keenan Coogler and Zach Babylon did a tremendous job at writing a new story for Adonis and his family. I was worried at first because I didn't know what direction they were going to be able to take this movie, especially after the departure of Sylvester Stallone. And only at some points of the film is his absence really felt. Like, for example, I thought that it didn't make complete sense that he wasn't shown at Marianne's funeral, almost like he just wasn't there. And I think the movie wants us to infer that he was, but I just find that really lazy. I know that Sylvester Stallone has some beef with the original producer, and that's why he's not in the film, but I didn't really know if they were gonna be able to pull off Rocky not being in the movie. And I was honestly a bit surprised, because they are able to stand on their own 2 feet in this movie. The story, like I mentioned earlier, is fantastic, giving us Adonis's backstory with flashbacks and a brand new antagonist named Damian Anderson. Diamond Dame Anderson. But more like Diamond in the Rough Dame Anderson, if you know what I'm saying. But to me, he doesn't really feel like a villain. Damian and Adonis are 2 sides of the same coin, and the movie really does a great job at subtly conveying that with camera shots and color coding, often dressing Damian in black, darker colors, and Adonis in white and more lighter colors. Adonis and Dame are yin and yang. I don't really like that they made Dame win the title, because it looks very goofy that he's 1-0 and he's the world champ. Usually it would be very distracting, but the substance is so good that it really doesn't take away from the film that much. If I were writing this part of the story, I would have had Damian just bury through everyone that Adonis was training, leading Adonis to have to step in and handle Damian. That would have been, I think, better, because after Dame loses in the final fight, it just looks kind of sad, because Adonis is world champion, but statistically, Dame looks worse than Adonis. So it feels a bit underwhelming when he wins, but narratively, I know that it's supposed to be bittersweet for Adonis. Damian felt truly fleshed out, and even though we probably won't be seeing any more of him anytime soon, I am gonna miss his character. And although I don't think this movie is a masterpiece, overall I think this movie is beautifully and wonderfully made. It's everything that I've been wanting to see from a Creed movie, and I'm really glad that they were able to craft something so special. Although there's no way in hell that Felix Chavez and Damian Anderson were in the same weight class. But overall, I think this movie is the best out of the 3 Creed films. It's definitely the strongest at the very least, and I will be doing a deeper, more in-depth review when the movie is available for purchase. If you're a fan of the Rocky franchise, then I definitely recommend you go watch this movie. It uses nostalgia, but also brings something new to the table. The Creed movies are the best legacy sequel movies, right up there with Top Gun Maverick. The only real huge criticism that I have is that I wish the movie had been longer, because at times the movie feels a bit rushed. Like the training montage scene, which is still strong, but it isn't able to beat the Creed 2 training montage, which was f***ing fantastic. Anyways, that's all I've got for you for today's video, and until next time, peace!